We'll just go ahead and get started with you, Adam. Obviously, first overall on the day, led a lot of laps, both motos, had some great starts, a couple of hole shots, were able to get your first moto win on the 450. Grabbed your first overall win on the 450. Probably had a little bit of a scare there in the second moto with that tip over, but we're able to kind of to rebound and remount and take it to the checkered flag and grab that overall. So I guess what was that the kind of the motions like in getting your first 450 win?
A lot of emotions for sure. I think I've been fortunate enough to come into the season in a good situation with a good team and a good motorcycle, and I know I'm capable of being up there and having the speed, but getting over the hump of actually winning a race, there's a lot more to it than just speed. It's kind of the reason why I moved up from the 250 class when I had more eligibility left in that class. I wanted the chance to say, I'm the best in the world this weekend, and that's what I get to say, and that's what I'm proud to say for at least the next week and a half or so until we have to prove it again.
Awesome. We will, Blake did say he's going to be joining us, but we can go ahead and start with you, Johnny, for whatever questions you might have for Adam.
Cool. Thank you. This is Johnny with 2.4 Speed and MX Unfiltered. AC, I know I've given you a hard time in the past, so congratulations. I was really bummed to see that you have that little mistake with that lapper, the second moto, and not go 1-1. But is there any talk of team orders now with you now being third in points ahead of your teammate?
No. I mean, what would we even talk about, right? I mean, I'm third in points and he's whatever, fourth or fifth, or, I don't think there's really anything to talk about there. And honestly, there hasn't been ever. There hasn't been any team orders, and I'm sure there's not going to be because there's no reason, really.
Gotcha. LaRocco's Leap, I know just because it's RedBud. We saw you way on the back of the bike, really having a seat bounce that hard. Was it difficult to get over to do it every lap, or was it something that you could pretty much do consistently?
Yeah, it was difficult. The corner was tough this year. So especially in the on RedBud 2, it was really sandy, really soft. And that corner tends to blow out, 5-6 laps into the race. And then you're stuck kind of having to be really patient on the entry to try to get a good drive on the exit. And for me, I actually had a better time hitting it at the inside. For some reason, I was able to get more drive, but it was definitely difficult. You had to be focused. It was kind of right in between gears for me, in between second and third gear. If I switched up to third, I tended to lug it a little bit, and if I stayed in second, I kind of ran out of gear right before the tip of the face, and most of the time I just left in second and pinned it.
Gotcha. And during that second moto, could you walk us through what actually happened with that lapper? It looked like lines just sort of collided. Do you feel like that was maybe a blue flag mishap, or I know you were just pushing forward in the moment, trying to gain as much time as you could?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was pretty aware of where he was, and I figured that he was going to slow down before he got to the right. It's probably my bad. He probably didn't see me coming or whatever and didn't see the blue flag, but ultimately, when you're approaching from behind and you're the one that ends up going down, it's your fault. So totally my fault there. And I just tried to opt out of the line a little bit too late. And I was like, honestly, kind of half-ass committed to jumping out of the line and just got my wheels crossed up. But ultimately it was no big deal. Got up, was calm, and just took her home.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, dude. Big step forward. Blake, looks like you're in here. One question for you, man. Congratulations. It's not a surprise to see you win a moto. I know everyone knows that you have the speed. Is that a big monkey off your back, or does it actually create more pressure? Because now after this weekend going into Millville, do you feel like, oh, now I got to perform, I got to be up front?
I don't know. It's one of those things where in the past, it's been a long time since I've won. So in the past, I was able to win races and win overalls and stuff, but it's been quite a few rough goes at it. I had some slight signs of brilliantness, but haven't been able to completely put it together. And it feels good to be able to get the little devil off my shoulder and be able to get the job done. I had some gifts handed to me with those guys falling over, so I didn't have to necessarily pass them. It was pretty tough to pass, but all in all, I'll take it. And a second place is overall is, you know, winning the moto and second place overall. I'll take that all day and run home with it.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, you won with 12 seconds, so, you know, awesome job. I don't want to take any more time from anybody else. Thanks, guys.
And Weege, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'll ask both of you guys this. I was asking the 250 guys earlier, so Adam, you can go first, and then I'll ask Blake the same thing. What was the turnaround like having a doubleheader? Did you feel different on Monday than a regular national, or do you actually get pretty refreshed?
For me, I felt pretty good. I think part of it was the weather was so good on Friday. You know, we didn't really, at least I didn't go too, you know, far into my body in terms of just really having to dig deep. I felt really good physically, both motos there. And yeah, just really didn't do anything. Went to the movies just by myself, chilling. And yeah, just tried to recover and hydrate, obviously, and do everything we could. But it didn't feel too different to me.
What about you, Blake? Obviously you rode well, so you must have been pretty fresh, but how did it feel on Monday?
Yeah, I kind of liked it. You know, we're there for a little bit longer than it felt like. It was like, oh, okay, we'll just be there, we'll race, we'll get out. And then once we were there, I was like, man, we're kind of here for a while, you know, 5 days. So all in all, I think it worked. I think the weather was awesome. You know, we had a little bit of rain, but it made the track perfect. And got out of there today, and it was pouring, you know, when I left this morning. So I think we dodged it and got perfect weather. And what else could you ask for? It was RedBud, good weather, two awesome events. You just fly in, you race, you hang out for 2 days, you race again. So I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was pretty cool.
And also for you guys, there were some fans there, but not a lot. So how much different did it feel than regular RedBud, especially with winning? So Blake, I'll start with you, and then Adam, you can take that. How weird or different was it, or did it not feel that different? I don't know how much the fans affect you guys.
Well, it probably affects Adam a lot more than me. He's a people person. I'm not much of a people person, I'll be honest. So I didn't even notice there was no fans. No, I did notice it, but yeah, it was. I mean, for me, I was just trying to go out there and race and go as fast as I can, and you know, try to end up on the box, and I was able to do that. So for me, I didn't care if there was Martians or aliens on the side of the track.
How was it for you, Adam?
Yeah, it was different for sure. But I think now we've been, you know, socially distancing for so long that I found myself more noticing the few people that were there being loud. And, you know, a couple of them had air horns and stuff like that. And I kind of appreciated that, even though it was a small crowd, it was a spirited crowd. And at least some people gathering around. It's not too fun, you know, riding around the track with nobody on the fences. But to be honest, I didn't really think about it until after the event was over. I mean, like, man, you know, my first win would have been cool with, you know, 30,000 people here. But no, just grateful I got it.
And my last thing for you, Adam, you had said on Friday that you're an excellent chiller. So do you credit some of the win to your chilling abilities, like going to the movies?
Man, I think so. I mean, I know that any type of physical activity, pretty much, especially on you know, 2 days rest like that, is going to be detrimental to how you're going to feel on Monday. So it's super hard to obviously sit still and just chill out. But I did my best, and I felt good both days. So maybe I got to keep it going. Maybe I just got to sit my ass on the couch all week.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll come back with more later. Go ahead, Dan.
And then we got Zach on now as well. Zach, third overall on the day, another consistent day, getting some solid points. I know you mentioned not having quite the same energy as on Friday, but you did manage to extend your lead by a couple additional points. How was, I guess, that 2 day format for you, and how do you feel heading into the final stretch of the season?
Yeah, I feel good going into the final stretch. The 2 days were a little tougher than I anticipated for Monday. I just felt really kind of off in the first moto with some serious arm pump, and then the second moto was a little bit better, but I was just a little bit flat. So looking forward to some downtime and then getting back going here in a couple of weeks and finishing this thing off.
And then we'll go ahead and turn it to you, Dan.
Yeah, since we have Zach in here, there's a question I was thinking this weekend and just wondering if at any point you win this title, you get at any point, do you think you might go back to the GPs and try to run against those guys at some point?
No. I'm way too old for another transition back to the other side of the pond. So no, I don't think that's in the cards. Unless there's something I don't know about as far as from the team or something like that. But no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking like full time. I was just watching the GP this weekend and watching you, and I'm like, I wonder if Zach has an itch to maybe see what he's like against those guys at some point.
I used to have a big itch for it, just to go back and do a year or two of GPs. But man, it's so tough right now there. The level's high, and it's high here too. But to go back there and just take my whole family and transition back into living in Europe and all that would be tough. I mean, the one-off GP would be okay, but to do it full time was no way.
Yeah. And for Blake, where did that come from? I mean, we know you have it. You've done it before. You've dominated motos, but where did this one come from? 6 in the first moto, and then you literally just ran away. I think at lap 14, you were going 2 and 3, old school Chupacabra, faster than 2 and 3 seconds faster than everybody late in the race. Where'd that come from?
I don't know. Langston said I just need to pack it in my backpack more often. So, I made a small bike change before the second moto. It's something that I had ran before, but just one of those parts that you go back and forth and you're not sure if it, some days it feels like it's better. Other days you're like, you're not sure. So I made a call to switch before the second moto, and it really helped with my corner speed and just driving out of the turns. I feel that when I was in the first moto, that the front guys, Adam was out front, and the guys behind him, it was just tough to get a good run on people out of the turns. And I was losing a lot of time. Made a call for the second moto, and I don't know, it just, things came together.
Yeah, you talked about afterwards that you were kind of in a funk where you weren't believing in yourself, basically. Did something happen this week? Did you tell yourself something to try to get out of that funk? I've been there. What mentally did you think you did to maybe start believing you can do this again?
I really didn't tell myself anything different. I didn't do anything different. I just got out there, and then I don't know, it was like probably 13, 14 minutes in, stuff just started happening really slow motion, it felt like, and everything was slowing down, and I just started clicking away.
Nice. It's awesome to see. You can see in you, in your style, when you can win a race, and it's whether it's Supercross, Motocross, and it's just everything changes and you're going to the front. It was cool to see.
Thank you.
Yeah. And one for Adam, what goes through your mind when you hit that lapper? Fuck, here we are again. Oh, sorry. Shoot, here we are again.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any thoughts from outside. I'm not thinking about past mistakes or anything. I mean, the only thing I was thinking there when I hit the lapper, I was like, I got to pick the bike up and keep going.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. So, yeah, I didn't even know that. I knew Blake was, at the time, little did I know, I looked at the lap times today. He did a 2:07. I did a 2:10 or something on that lap right before I crashed. But I didn't know he was coming so hard. And I thought just Zach passed me. And to be honest, until I was sitting under the awning when the race was done, I still thought I got second. I didn't even know Blake won. So, yeah, but I knew I had the overall. Obviously, my mechanic was letting me know. And, yeah, just kept focusing forward.
Yeah, I don't think any of us knew Blake was that close. I think we even said, I wonder on the broadcast, I wonder if Blake's going to get him too, and they were right together. And I don't think any of us knew Blake had come that far. You talked about the 1-1 being what you were focused on. How big of a deal would a 1-1 would have been?
I mean, I'm not too bummed on it. I mean, obviously it would be cool to have a perfect day with, getting both hole shots and leading every lap, but I did my absolute best. I know that. Made a mistake, but it happens, and I didn't get to 1-1, but always next weekend, you know?
Yeah. Congratulations, Adam.
Thank you.
Johnny, go ahead.
Cool, Zach. This one's for you. As far as setup goes, I know a lot of you guys were going paddle tire, intermediate tire. Do you guys try to set up the track for just the start, or maybe just a smaller section, like the bottom half, which is real sandy, or the top half that's a little bit more clayish? How do you guys go about that as far as weighing the different variables?
For me, the paddle tire is something that I'm really familiar with and that I use really often. So if I even think that there's a chance I can use it, I'm going to use it. RedBud's like probably 80% okay with it, and then 20% where you have to be careful, like just a few jump paces. But for the most part, if there's even a 60% chance I can run it, I'm gonna give it a go.
Gotcha. Awesome. And then Blake, this one's for you. Finished second, you got 40 points, and then Zach got 40 points too in third. Do you think that the points, maybe there should be, I don't know, maybe a reward for being on the podium, because so that you guys don't tie, you know, just something for finishing second as opposed to just walking away with the same amount of points? It's kind of a controversial, I guess, question.
No, the points are the points. It's been the point system for forever. And, you know, I think that, you know, if you have moto scores and they finish where you finish, and that's it, you know, it keeps the championship close, and it keeps the guy Zach that has the point. You know, he maybe lost some to Adam, but to me, you know, it was square straight across on the day. So I'm, you know, way back from where he's at, but I think the points are the points, and it's set up just fine.
Cool. I appreciate your input. Thanks, guys.
And Weege, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you now.
Yeah, it's, we're going into September, which we weren't supposed to do this year, and no one knew when we were going to be racing or not. So it's not like you guys could take giant breaks because we didn't know when we were going to go. So I'll start with you, Blake. Does it feel like it's starting to drag on now that we've gone one whole weekend past we're supposed to go, and we have a couple more weeks to go?
No, I don't think so. I think that, you know, the way the world is right now, everything's so messed up and just whatever, it's hard to even tell what direction you're going in, that it's fine. I think that we've had enough time. I think we kind of regroup in this and come on strong for the end. And then now with a little bit of the off time after Supercross ended and now getting into outdoors, I think everybody is physically fine. I think the little bit of breaks kind of gives you a little chance to revive yourself and keep going. And yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I think maybe, you know, if they threw a Monster Cup in or something like that the weekend after, or whatever they would do with those, that would be, you know, pretty gnarly to try to get back on the Supercross program. But if we got a little time off, then we start riding Supercross and roll right into to Anaheim.
Yeah, Adam, you missed some races with the injuries, but it's still a longer season than you were used to because you're a 450 guy now. So does it seem any different to you?
No, not really, to be honest. I like you said, I missed I think 2 races right there at the end of Supercross before COVID happened, and then getting hurt in Salt Lake and missing those. Even though, as most of you guys know, when you get hurt, you're still grinding. So it still feels like you're working. But as far as like traveling to the races and, you know, being around the guys and just going to the gate, and like, as far as that goes, I haven't done that as much as these other guys have this year. So and obviously just got my first win. So I'm pretty much ready to race tomorrow if we have to.
Adam, you've been obviously fast at all these races, and you've been in position for the overall a couple of weeks, and then you finally got it here. Is this just things finally fell into place, or is there something you're learning each time and then it finally worked, like the things you learned the previous week allowed you to win this time? Or could this have happened to any of these last couple of weeks?
Well, I could make this answer 15 minutes if I wanted to, but I think if anything, it's just getting more familiar with the environment. I mean, just to give you an example, even like I don't think I would have won that first moto if I didn't lead those, you know, all those laps at Ironman a couple weeks ago. You know, I think you get up there and you're more comfortable, and you basically just, you know, old saying, like, fake it till you make it. You just start believing in yourself. You know, you're still out there, and you know, you have good pace. And I think maybe 25 minutes into the first moto, I'm like I do not have to lose this race. You know, like I can do this. And I just gave it my all, and I just trusted that was enough, and it was enough. And once that clicks and you realize that, it's like you start seeing things a little bit different.
This one's for you, Blake. We actually saw some of the Bakers guys, I think, rode at your place. I don't know if you went and rode at theirs, but is that something different this year leading into the season? We saw you ride them at Marvin and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you guys got spies everywhere. I try to hide. I've been practicing this social distancing for so long that this is normal to me. Yeah, we rode together, God, maybe a month and a half. Every day we rode together. We rode here, we rode there. We rode everywhere together. So it was kind of cool to be able to, as I call it, jump in with the reindeer, you know, games. I feel like I was a little bit of the black sheep or Rudolph to play with the reindeers, but it felt good to jump in. And I think it was different for them too. They get in there's a lot of guys and they mix it up, but to throw somebody different in there just brought everybody to another level. And I think that showed, you know, Zach, Marv, Coop, they were, you know, everybody's been running good, even the light spike guys with RJ and everything. So, you know, if you ride together, I think it brings up the pace and things just kind of take place from there. You don't even realize it, but all of a sudden in 2 weeks, everybody's a half a second or a second faster than they were. And it's just by riding together and having that, you know, you don't want to have that guy beat you and then you got to go back and listen to him, you know, tell you that he beat you.
Blake, did you have some confidence coming in? I know you said on the podium that you were starting to doubt yourself. Was that because of the results you had at the beginning coming into this season? Did you feel like moto wins and things like that were going to happen?
No, I pretty much take the complete opposite approach of Adam, not lead laps. That's not really my style. That's more of a Zach and Adam style. So yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where when you haven't done it for a while, it seems like, man, you're like, I've flown and I've went to so many races and I haven't been able to get it done. And I got one moto done last year, but the second moto, I mean, I was like 17th. So it was one of those things where it was maybe a fluke, maybe everybody had a bad moto and I just happened to show up that day. But to be able to come out and I felt good and things were just clicking off. I had one of those moments where everything slowed down, and when that started happening about the halfway point, it kind of started bringing my memories back to riding light spikes at RedBud with Dino and battling with everybody back in the day. And then all of a sudden just things started clicking, and that was an awesome feeling. And it's one of those feelings where I can't make it happen, but when it does, it's like, okay, here it goes. Things are going now. I've got it on a roll. But yeah, those guys I had some gifts to get to them because there were some guys that crashed in front of me, and that's what was able for me to not have to pass everybody.
Yeah, but you did have to pass Zach. Can you describe the pass that you made? That was completely bizarre, the pass you made to take the lead. You practically stopped and went from one side of the track to the other, and it actually worked.
I think it was like the Geico commercial where the guy's got the dollar bill and he throws it out there on the string line and he's faking you with it. He pulls it up and down. I kind of pulled one of those. I faked that I was going right, but I went left. That doesn't happen often, especially I've been riding with Zach, so we know each other now. And I was gonna go to the right and go to the outside, but when I jumped at the tabletop, he gave a little look over the shoulder. I'm like, he's never gonna let me pull this one off. I know it. So that was the last second decision.
Zach, you're back here. Can you describe that pass from Blake?
Yeah, he read me like a book. Like, of course, I wasn't going to let him just ride around the outside of me. And I had been taking that outside quite a bit because I was basically just following Adam. And then whenever I got in the lead, I was like, oh, wow, now I'm going to have to make some lines of my own. So, like he said, he was on the right side of me. I could hear him on the right side of me on that tabletop. And as soon as we landed, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go outside. I know he's already on my right, but he must have slowed way down to pull back and then go left. So I got buried up in that berm out there, and he was gone.
I asked Adam and Blake a moment ago, is the length of the season starting to feel different or wear on you at all? Because we're going into the calendar we don't only go to anymore.
No, not really. I mean, the hard part about this season was like the 3 8-week training periods that we had time to do. Now that we're racing, it's not that bad and it's manageable during the week. But when you're training at the end of that Salt Lake thing, and there's like another 8 weeks until the season, and that's not really like positive, that's when it was hard. So now that we're racing, and obviously I've had some good results, that makes things a lot easier and a lot more exciting to go right in during the week. So for me, it's not that bad. I mean, obviously Monday was not my best result just because, Friday was amazing, but it's more just, managing it at this point, managing the fatigue and what you have going on more than anything.
And one more for you, Zach. You said this would be pivotal, this doubleheader, to really set up the championship. Do you feel like you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish at these 2?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I wanted to do, especially after losing so many points in that first Ironman Moto and just really riding terrible, the worst that I have all season. It was nice to win on Friday, and then to have a solid result yesterday was really good. It would have been nice to go 1-1 again, of course, but also to take some more points and stretch it to second was really good for me.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Then we'll go ahead and take one more. Johnny, if you'd like to go ahead.
Cool. I'll just do one. Blake, I know a lot of the riders have messaged me saying that the track was very one-liner. Like there was only one fast line. Do you think that was how they ripped it, or do you disagree with that, saying that it was actually a pretty raceable track where outside was fairly as fast as inside?
Oh, I think I'm the wrong person to ask that to. I think Zach and Adam know. I got too much heavy equipment around me. It's everywhere. I'm way too picky on that. Yeah, I think that it's just when it starts out super muddy like that, and then of course, when you're going for qualifying times, everybody will take that same line because the mud is getting pushed out of it. It gets down to the hard base, and that's the fastest line. And I think everybody across both classes would agree. So when there's not just like a practice to like just get grooves in and get everything, kind of lined out, then it just gets that one line. And it does make it difficult. The top tree turn, I mean, there was the inside line and then there was a middle muck line. And I kept trying the middle the whole first moto and kept losing spots. And then, the second moto, I was able to make it work. But really, I mean, I think everybody would agree that there was only one inside. The inside was by far dominant all day. And I think that just comes from qualifying where, like when I rode with Zach and we rode at Alden's or we rode here, we would spend the first 20 minutes of the day getting multiple 5-6 lines going, everybody. And there's 10 of you guys, you can get them all going. And that's kind of what we do. We're at the race, when it's a lap time battle, you're going to go to the best line and try to murder it and hit it as fast as you can because it's qualifying time. It goes to gate pick. So I think it's just the way that the schedule's laid out and the way that the kind of race format goes, that everybody, it gets one line because of the way qualifying is set up.
Cool. Thanks, Blake.
Well, good job this weekend, guys. We appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight, and everyone have a good weekend off, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks. Sorry I was late, and sorry my phone died.
No problem. Appreciate you hopping on.